Tonight, if President Obama loses the national media, his administration is over. And indications are that might be happening.
Whether it was VA, whether it was the healthcare debacle, whether it was ISIS in Iraq, boy, this all came up on us faster than we expected. We've had our eye on this, but boy, we didn't expect it to be this bad.
The Border Patrol holds the immigrants only long enough to process them, and then, as we saw firsthand, releases them at local Greyhound stations where they're free to go anywhere.
I know that your unfortunate job is to say what has been done, but what has been done so far has not stemmed the flow. And you can say it, the White House can say it all they want, but at some point people are going to ask, and right now your own Democrats on the Hill are asking, why this was permitted to happen to get to this stage.
Joining us now in Washington, Lauren Ashburn and Howard Kurtz. You see them Sundays at 11 a.m. on Media Buzz. All right, Howard, think the national media is turning on the president now?
Bill, I've been saying for months that the mainstream media are turning against this president, even the folks at MSNBC not getting to throw up the leg anymore. This is the fourth or fifth train wreck in a row for Obama, going back to the Obamacare fiasco. And the liberal commentators, they're disillusioned, they're bummed, they're depressed, they need medication. This is their guy. And when it comes to managing the government and managing crises, it's getting really hard for them to defend him.
I haven't seen that on MSNBC. They still either avoid the issue or throw out, rank propaganda. But I have seen, as we just demonstrated, in the straight news precincts, they are starting to really come down on the president. What have you seen, Lauren?
Well, just this evening on MSNBC, Chris Matthews actually said that the president was conflicted. He looked conflicted. Another guest said, well, he really looked tired and he looked unhappy.
Conflicted about what? Not that I care what happens over there, but what was the point? Conflicted about what?
The point was he's conflicted as he's standing there in Texas, not going to the border, that he doesn't quite know what to do.
Well, he's not conflicted about going to the border. That's erroneous. He didn't want to go to the border, and it was never even on the, it was never even debated. He was going to go play pool in Denver, and then he was going to go down and give a little speech in Dallas. He wasn't going anywhere near the border because, Howard, if he goes to the border, that brings more attention to the failure of the border. It's very simple, is it not?
Yes, but the optics in politics matters. And yes, the president doesn't want to be seen in Brownsville, Texas, because then he owns the problem in a visual sense. But at the same time, it looks like he is avoiding it. And making a distinction here between the pundits and
it, Howard.
Yes, I know, and this is my point.
It doesn't look like it. He is avoiding it. It's the House of Representatives' fault. They did it.
We also saw this with the blame game. We also saw this with the VA scandal and the missing IRS emails. President always seems to be behind the curve in this past year, year and a half. And the regular straight reporters, the people at least try to be fair, they've largely written Barack Obama off. They think he's a lame duck. They're basically handicapping the Hillary administration.
Here's one of the reasons that this is happening now, that they are turning against him now, is that, believe it or not, Bill, maybe your viewers wouldn't even believe this, but mainstream media reporters are actually human beings first. And this crisis is too big for them to ignore. When you see those poor children lying on the ground covered in a paper blanket, how can that not affect how you cover this issue?
Well, it can't, but you're very misguided if you think that reporters are human beings, Lauren. I'm sorry. I've been in the business for 38 years, and there aren't. But anyway, we appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you. Fact and tip of the day.